directors of the museum of the municipality of Xiaotetelco revealed the location of an important archaeological piece, belonging to the Mayan culture, that inhabited this area during 400 after Christ, which consists of an alien figure, accompanied by the face of a person, who it also contains four inlays of mineral elements such as obsidian, turquoise, jade and shell. This piece was found by public workers in the community of Maxtaloyan, that is to say in the upper part of this municipality, this while some works of improvement in the place were developed, being a fundamental sample of the flowering of this culture, that for a long time inhabited this region, and that was settled in this present municipality, leaving important vestiges that will take them to undertake other investigations. History should be rewritten, and this is increasingly evident with the number of new archaeological and scientific discoveries that have been given over the last decade. Although we always try to ridicule or outlaw some objects, what is clear is that it cannot be done with everyone, since in this case the evidence is so overwhelming that it escapes from the hands of the most orthodox science. Some pieces in which we can find carved figures, inlaid objects and fantastic drawings. These stones, by scientific analysis, have been dated around about 10,000 years old. At first glance, what obviously most strikes us are the drawings drawn where you can clearly see spaceships, what come to be the typical flying saucers, of which the Hopi Indians spoke to us in their legends, and which they called luminous discs. There are also a great number of beings different from humans, with large oval eyes and elongated skulls. Something very curious about these elongated skull beings, that supposedly have been living with us since before the Ice Age. We also see other representations of humans with an Aztec Maya style sighting and interacting with these spaceships. In addition, there are some reptilian and scaly beings, something that also relates to the ancient legends of the Hopi Indians and Cherokee tribes, that refer to these descended beings like the Kachina, which translated would come to mean something like the Serpent Brothers. Ships and beings apparently of diverse races visited the Mayan culture, to such point that in one of these artifacts it is possible to be observed to these beings next to a maize plant. Impressive engraving, what appears to be a cargo ship with its crew sailing in space to Saturn? Did the Maya know the rings of Saturn? Did they have telescopes? The Mayan calendar, pregnant women and baby offerings to these ships are also present in these stones, something that inevitably reminds us of that amount of stories of ancient legends, as current contact does discuss mating issues and hybridization with beings from other planets. Well, having already described the characteristics of these pieces, which are not a few, but make a list of more than 300 each different from another, the reality of extraterrestrial contact with human civilization is becoming clearer, as information on the extraterrestrial presence and its past influence come to light. While some of us still have our doubts about that contact, many are beginning to realize the truth that has been talked about for centuries. A great story involves the Mexican government, that has documents and images released from mysterious objects that were found on the site of Calakmul, Mexico, that help demonstrate the reality of contact with extraterrestrials. These ancient Mayan artifacts are a set of extremely provocative elements that, according to many, would show that ancient humanity was visited, in the distant past, by beings that were not of the earth. Whether or not ancient humanity was visited by extraterrestrial beings is a stimulating debate that will remain as one of the most enigmatic issues in the coming years. While many people still have doubts about whether we have been visited by extraterrestrials in the past, other people strongly believe that we have been visited and claim that the evidence can be found in ancient cultures around the world. From their ancient texts to intricate cave paintings, evidence can be found everywhere. The artifacts were created by the ancient Maya, and have been in possession of the Mexican government. Thanks for this publication can be given to the National Institute of Anthropology and History INAH, who found these fascinating records in Mexico. This new discovery is a powerful blow to the secret that has been purposely created that surrounds the true history of our Earth. The discs are of Maya creation, and were found some 80 years ago, according to the INAH. The contact between an exotic species and the ancient Mayas is reportedly supported by the translation of certain codices retained by the Mexican government. The mysterious artifacts were first presented in 2011 by Dr. Nassim Haramein during a conference held in Saarbrücken, Germany. This resembles the stories of the tribes of the Amazon. Each year the Amazonian Cap tribe celebrates the arrival of the mysterious Bikororati, or the one who comes from the cosmos. He came to visit Earth a long time ago. This is how the ancient Amazonian legend says. The warrior from the cosmos was amused to see the fragility of his adversaries. In order to give them a demonstration of their strength, he raised his cap and, aiming successively at a tree and a stone, destroyed both. Everyone understood that Bikororati had wanted to show them that he had not come to make war. Human history teaches us that the world has evolved from the simple to the complex, from the stone tools to the advanced technology that we have available today. However, dozens of histories of native cultures seem to complicate this seemingly linear scheme. Architectural remains of enormous megalithic structures and the histories of the ancient gods, who descended to Earth in antiquity, suggest the visit of former alien astronauts, who descended on Earth thousands of years ago. The contact between the Maya and the extraterrestrials is supported by translations of certain codices, which the government has kept safe in underground vaults for some time. According to the accounts, it is believed that deep in the jungles of Mexico there are platforms of landings that are at least 3,000 years old. These landing platforms were used by the ancient visitors of the skies. What were these people hiding at the technological, spiritual? Or rather, what hides the science that does not want us to know? Or maybe science and history isn't real how they told it? There are many intrigues around the subject. We should not be surprised by these obvious signs of contact with what appear to be different humanoid stellar races. The stories, legends and myths of the cultures of the earth tell us about the ancient gods, who gave them the basis of technology, the laws, taught them grazing and cultivation, as well as language, mathematics and astronomy. What is clear is that cultures like the Maya, the Olmec, the Inca, the Aztec, the Egyptian, the Sumerian, the Babylon, they were not born by spontaneous generation. If we do not have to assume that these cultures went from being nomads, primitive hunter-gatherers, to sophisticated technological cultures, able to raise absolutely impressive cities and empires without any intermediate step and in very brief periods of time. Legends and myths of the cultures of the earth tell us about the ancient gods, who gave them the basis of technology, the laws, taught them grazing and cultivation, as well as language, mathematics and astronomy.